Hey guys, this is Sharon with Teptation, and you're listening to 89 FM Radio Rock.
So you're celebrating 30 years of Within Temptation. I
Yeah.
want to know, how does it feel looking back at your whole journey?
Well, the thing is that I've only recently started looking back because we have to. Everybody keeps reminding us we're already 30 years together as a band, and it feels like a flash. It went so fast, everything, because we had so much fun. Uh, it was a roller coaster with a lot of highlights, a lot of beautiful things. Also, of course, some heavy stuff that also happens on the road, and how much you've become a unity, with band and crew. Most of our crew is already working for us 20 to 25 years for us, and there's hardly anyone leaving. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Have to put knock on wood to before everybody starts quitting on us. But it's been a beautiful experience, and I really can't believe that's already 30 years. And yeah, I'm very proud of everything that we have, done and made together. And but also looking back, there's so many beautiful memories. It's yeah, it makes you almost weak inside. Like, okay, that we had this. It was such a pleasure to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And the last time you were in Brazil was at Summer Breeze Festival in
Yeah.
2024, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do
Exactly.
you have a favorite or standout memory from that visit?
Well, it was quite some time that we had played in Brazil, and then to see we had a signing session before. There were so many people, and they were so sweet, and they brought really lovely small gifts, like a certain kind of. They brought something that they made themselves, a drawing, or sometimes a picture, or sometimes just the beautiful stories they have to connection to your music. And the memories that are so much connected to their emotions and our music. There was all those stories they tell you that really warms you up. It's like they have so much love and passion, even though we hadn't played Brazil for such a long time. I was so happy to see that there's so much people still, enjoying our music, and that's the biggest compliment you can get as a band, of course.
Yeah. And I'm curious, do you know any Brazilian artists or celebrities?
I was just talking about Angela. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, by the way, but
Uh-huh.
that's a very cool band. I've seen them a few times play. I'm not really completely acquainted with their whole catalog, but it's more like I've seen them play throughout the years a few times, and it's just a very amazing band. So, and I just heard they're going to play on the same festival, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, I'm able to check them out. Yeah,
Yeah.
again.
And you're coming back to perform at Bangers Open Air Festival, right?
Yes. Mhm.
What can fans expect from this show?
The thing is, of course, we've only played 2 years ago already on the festival, on the similar place and everything. So I'm actually looking into the set list now to see what we can change that we haven't played last time, and see. Of course, there will be the the usual suspects that will be always on the set list because people want to hear that, and it's not going to be the complete same audience, of course. So, but still, you want to bring something old to the new set list again that we're going to play next time, so people can hear something different as well, instead of the same set list. I would never want to play completely the same set list, so it's going to be quite some changes to the set list. Just going through that today or tomorrow and see what we're going to play. So if
Mhm.
anybody has any suggestions, please let us know.
And from Enter to Bleed Out, the
Yeah.
band has gone through so many changes, right? So many phases. What was the most challenging phase for you as an artist?
I think the Hydra was a very Hydra, between Hydra and Resist. It was quite difficult because the symphonic part we finalized to our own opinion on the heart of everything, and then we were very much inspired after that with the Unforgiving about the 80s and the bands that inspired us while we were growing up. And the 90s was something we had on the Hydra album, but it was a very difficult album for us to write somehow. Feeling that songs didn't come as easy as normal. And that's also why I took a break between Hydra and between the Resist album to write something completely different, which was my solo project called My Indigo. And and also to refine my love for music again that I was making with the band. Not sure if I would come back to the band again as well, because it was just sometimes you just feel empty, and it's like a identity crisis for the band musically, because we were still friends, there were no hardships or anything, but it was more like that we didn't know which direction to go. And My Indigo really helped us coming when I wrote My Indigo, it really helped also Robert and me to come back to the Resist album, and with a new sound and a lot of urban stuff that we picked up with my Indigo album, we could use again for the Resist album. And from that point on, everything has started streaming again. The music kept coming more easily to us, and that was a gift that I'm still very happy that it came back again, because there's nothing worse than to have a writer's block or not knowing which direction to go with your music.
Well, and we're very happy that it turned everything all right too.
Yes, thank you.
And Mother Earth was a turning point for the band, right? How do you see the impact of this beautiful era and in shaping the band?
Uh, it um, it was a very important album, I think, but it always is. The next album, every next album is important. They said after Enter, how are you ever gonna, ever gonna top Enter? Because Enter did quite well for a debut album. But Mother Earth, yeah, we felt like we found our direction of the kind of music we wanted to make, because with the Enter album, it was more of a doom album, and Mother Earth was more folky and not the type of folk that some other bands were playing at the same time, like Nightwish. But we had our own ideas about it. We were very much inspired by Dead Can Dance and Enya and those kind of music, and in combination with metal and Marillion and all the bands that we grew up with and stuff like that. And so, and that all in that melting pot of all those people that we are in the band with, they all brought something to the table, and it became the Mother Earth album, which was completely different from Enter. But then again, of course, they said, how are you going to top Mother Earth? And we came with Silent Force, which was completely different again, but still had a symphonic touch to it. So it's always been um, difficult to top a favorite album for a lot of fans. But it was one of the most special ones, periods in our career, because of the fact that it became our breakthrough album, where everybody thought we will always be a niche kind of band. And it came to our surprise, because we all had day jobs. Nobody was ever expecting to become a full-time musician. And the thing was that we've always made the music we like to make. There was never an A&R telling us what to do, because most people in the music industry didn't understand our music and what we were about, because we're such a strange band with different strange kind of things, like me wearing a dress like I was like a Victorian princess almost, and and all these
I
guys in
love the
leather
dresses,
pants.
by the way. They're all amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was for me an excuse to wear them, because I always had a passion for these kind of dresses, and it suited the kind of music we were making. So yeah, but it's the A&Rs were like, you should wear jeans or maybe leather pants, because it's more sexy than those really big. But I was like, no, it suits the music, it's epic, it's we always did what we wanted to, and we still do.
Yeah. And as you said, it was epic. And I want to know what is your writing process? Where do you get your inspiration from? Because I feel some cinematics feels and scenes in your music. So where do you get your inspiration from?
Well, it's very much what we are as storytellers, of course, and we take inspiration from our direct environment, meaning like our direct people around us, but also a bigger view of the world, how things are socially working. And we've always been politically engaged. In the past, maybe more about historical things happening, but nowadays the real world and what's happening right now is really inspiring us still. So we made quite a change also in that era, in that era, but that's. In that way, like in the past, people felt that we were more like about fantasy metal or something, but that was a little bit of a strange name to the band because we were inspired by fantasy books like the ones of Fire, the Song of Fire and Ice of George R.R. Martin, which is called, of course, Game of Thrones in the television series. Those were the ones that inspired us to write the Mother Earth album, the Sign of Force album, in combination of things that were happening in society and also in the world. But we were always talking about metaphors, so always politically engaged. Like even the Game of Thrones is all politics, but in a different world, of course. But all these things in a melting pot again. It's inspired us to write the music, but also the lyrics and it still does up until today, but now it's more about real stories, real issues, and real statements.
Yeah. And you guys always bring this political themes, right? But I want to talk about your last album that I feel that there's a lot of this and there's a lot of social themes too. I want to know how was the process for making this album and what made you feel it was important to talk about these things?
Well, when we started writing the previous album, it started already during COVID, actually, a little bit before COVID, and then COVID happened. And we had a lot of time to do, well, we had a lot of time on our hands, so we immediately started writing again and sending files to each other, although we were not allowed to travel. And so it was a bit of crazy time and also fragmented. Like "Entertain You," the song is about actually about, for instance, something I saw on the internet about this trans person being harassed by another man, saying that he was, or she was actually, sorry, she was a disgrace because dressing up like that, and it hurt me so much that I was like, oh my god, we're in 2020 at the time, 22, 21, I don't know, something like that. And I got so angry about it because it was so, this person got so much hate, and eventually she turns on him, and then she spoke more manly voice, and now you motherfucker, you leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And she was really angry, and I was like, yeah, tell him. And I was, oh my god, I felt so sorry. It made such an impact on me. It's more like that people don't, it's so sad to see that society still doesn't protect and stand up for people who are a minority. It doesn't matter if it's about skin color, it's about or your gender, or why does it matter? Just stick in your own lane, just do your own stuff, and let people be who they want to be and who they are. It's like, I can't believe that we're still telling people how to behave. And that's how that song came about. So that was more a social issue in society. But for instance, the rest of the album is very much political. It's a lot about the Ukrainian war going on by Russia, invaded by Russia, and about Iran, about the movement of the new generation, wanting to have more freedom, and that there's still this elite. And, of course, it's completely exploded everything there. And but the song "Bleed Out" is about Masa Amini, who got killed by morality police. Yeah, and there's even a song about there's a song about women's rights to have the right of abortion. There's inspiration for that. So it goes to left to right, all these things that are actually on the table right now so much. If you see what's happening in America, even a country where they used to have a legal abortion, and it's now it's just you're under threat if you're, even when your life is in danger because of some medical issues, you're not allowed to have an abortion anymore. Or, you know, it's like, and this is also happening in Europe. And these things, they stir something up inside me to talk about these kind of things. Not that I think that because the main reason is that I think that people should have the choice to live in a society that's they can move around in like in democracy, you know, it's like have their own choices, decide their own lives within, of course, the rules of law, of course, but still, you know, have the choice to do and live and their life how they want to. And even talking about it now, it really makes me angry. I wouldn't like to be boxed up, you know, in like a Handmaid's Tale kind of version of the reality that I'm living in now, and every cell in my body wants to fight that somehow. So it's all these injustice that I see inspires somehow, and it needs to be put out in music, because otherwise I'll carry it with me. I'm just happy to have the music to express myself in that way and to talk about it with you today, about women's rights, about all kinds of rights, of religion, of, you know, the things we find important.
Yeah. And after 30 years, I'm sure a lot has changed from your way to write or to produce or to think about the world. But I want to know, like, there is something that stayed the same.
Well, to be honest, I think when the world was a better place when we started. Still we had a lot of, you know, a lot of things to address, you know, equal rights for women, those kind of things. But and that's still an issue, of course. But I think things are getting worse, to be honest. I don't think there were. I think it was better the way it was, actually, and we're only going the wrong direction. And you see always these waves in society, and hopefully there will be a more positive outcome after this very negative wave that the world is in right now. So yeah, things change. Yeah, everything has changed, even the way how we record it to you know, the platforms where music are being shared, you know. Nowadays we have all these music platforms. We didn't have that. When we started, we were still working with demos, you know, cassettes even. There was the last phase of cassettes. So nothing is the same. Nothing is the same. And I can guarantee you it hasn't become better, unfortunately. But there's new stuff that we can embrace. You know, there are new platforms, you know, the YouTube channels, where you can still sometimes can discover really cool bands or yeah, so there are some new things happening, of course, or still there from the last 10 years that are positive, but there's a lot of yeah. Some things haven't become better, unfortunately, but there is a new time coming, of course, and we'll make sure it gets better eventually.
Yeah. And thank you, Sharon, for your time. Just to wrap it up, can you leave a message for your Brazilian fans?
Yes. I really hope to see you when we come in April. And, you know, I love your passion and love for music. We've always felt very welcome when we came. And I really hope to see every one of you that loves our music. Can't wait to play for you guys and bring this really, really special playlist for you guys, because, yeah, you deserve it. And I can't wait to share that fire with you when we are there.
89